Okay, good day everyone. My name is Alvin Mayers, back again, and today I'm going to react to a video called Dr. Umar, My Problem with Religion in the Black Community. So without any further ado, let's get into the video.
That's perfect. Can we go into the religious topic there, based off of that? So you've been kind of very outspoken about like religious leaders. I think specifically in the Joe Budden Patreon episodes, you
So he did release both episodes.
they
The
were
second
both
one is out.
Yes, the second
Okay.
one, and
'Cause
that was a
somebody
while
texted me
ago.
the other day and said, "Why Joe Budden ain't released part 2?"
So maybe that's on YouTube, but I have Joe Budden's Patreon.
And
So
on the Patreon, the whole interview can be seen.
I watched both the interviews. It's
Gotcha.
part 1 and
Thank
part
you.
2.
Okay, so I can let them know it's out there.
Yes. So and you specifically called religious leaders or past. I think you were specifically talking about pastors. Maybe the ones that you've experienced. I'm not sure if you were being general when you were saying it, but you called them kind of narcissists. You said they're doing it a lot of the time for their own to fulfill their egos. Is that based on your experience, or is that something that you believe as a whole? And I'll go into something a little bit. My dad's a pastor, and I've specifically watched him my entire life. He became a pastor, I believe, 2 years before I was born. And I watched him my entire life not be that person, not be the narcissist, not do it for the money, and really be, first of all, an activist.
Let me just say this. There's a lot of words, there's a lot of opinions about pastors, and a lot of the times people have a negative view of pastors. Oh, they like a lot of money, they are after money, they are, and sometimes that is not always the case. I'm not saying there are pastors who love money, but like what I'm trying to say is that's not always the case. There are real genuine pastors who wants to minister the word of God and help a lot of people, you know. But a lot of people like to accuse pastors. They enjoy, saying a lot of things against pastors and against leaders, and so let's get into it.
Within my community in Toronto, and actually helping people. One thing that you talk about a lot is building institutions, and he's definitely not been able to build a building as an institution, but he himself has been an institution for people.
Gotcha.
Whether it's religious, whether it's if you need groceries and you're broke, he's done that for people. He's done everything. So when you speak about pastors like that, is that based on your experience, or is that based on something that you think is a general thing? Like, do you think that
It's
for
based
everybody?
on my study
Yeah.
of the institution of religion amongst African people all around the world, historically and in modern times.
Gotcha.
So there are exceptions to the rule. Okay, my 4 times great grand uncle, a gentleman by the name of Bishop Henry. Excuse me, I'm convinced I'm confusing Bishop Henry Turner with Bishop Alexander Wayman. Okay, so Bishop Alexander Wayman, who is the 7th bishop under Richard Allen in the African and Methodist Episcopal Church. That is my 4 times great grand uncle. My 3 times great grandfather was married to his niece, my grandmother Annie Wayman. Okay, he was a manager of the Philadelphia Underground Railroad. He fought against slavery. I believe he helped recruit for the Civil War. He was a preacher. Bishop Henry McNeill Turner was a race man and a preacher. Most of my Pan-Africanist forefathers were pastors. Henry Highland Garnett, pastor. Alexander Crummell, pastor. Henry McNeill Turner, pastor. Edward Wilmot Blyden, pastor. You follow me?
Yeah.
So I don't have an issue with
Okay,
the church.
so Dr. Umar is related to pastors. He has pastors in his generation. So I am kind of open to listen to what he has to say now.
Because my Pan-Africanist forefathers were of the church. My issue is the way in which the black church has been reconstructed in modern time, right? Into an institution of exploitation, no longer an institution of salvation. In other words, pastors and politicians are no longer what they used to be for black people in this world, right? And when you look at the church, it almost deifies poverty. It almost deifies powerlessness. The way in which religion is taught to black people makes them comfortable being oppressed. It no longer has a revolutionary spirit, because remember, religion was at the heart of the Haitian Revolution, but it was African religion. Dr. King was a pastor. Malcolm was a Muslim. You see, so we've seen where religion was used as a revolutionary force. But how long has it been since we've seen religion be used as a revolutionary force? In my opinion, religion takes three things from black people we cannot afford to waste: too much of our time, too much of our money, and too much of our hope and energy. The reason why governments are not afraid of black religion anymore, because black religion protects the government by evangelicizing oppression as if it's coming from God and not the white man. In other words, we got to wait on God to fix our problems as opposed to rising up against the white power structure and crushing it. How many black preachers can we say in Toronto right now or Montreal right now? How many pastors can you look to that are fighting against the miseducation system in Canada? Fighting against, and I've seen the unemployment, fighting against the mass incarceration. It's almost like here in America.
It definitely is.
Look at the major problems we have in Canada. Show me a...
Just hearing him speak, there's a lot of issues in this world today. There's a lot of issues, there's a lot of problems. Mass incarceration, gentrification. I mean, I don't really understand these terms, because these terms are, well, widely used among the highly educated and in America, but these are issues that people face. So, but just listening to him, there's a lot of issues in this world, but there will always be problems in the world. There will always be racism. There will always be those things that we have to fight against and speak out against. So
black church that's at the forefront, not participating, because anybody could go to a meeting, anybody could join a march, anybody could show up to a press conference. Show me a church that's at the forefront. I'm the leader. We're gonna fix these schools. I'm the leader. We're going to get economic justice.
Well, it's just like, well, he's talking about the church being at the forefront of these issues, but the church is the church, meaning we will not really partake in the secular world too much, or we will not be too involved in, the Bible say, it says, let him that warreth don't entangle himself with the affairs of this life. Any man that warreth shall not entangle himself with the affairs. So it's like, we are not going to put ourselves out there too much in the issues, but
you can't find them, just like we can't find them here, just like you can't find them in Africa. The black church is no longer a vanguard organization. It is a parasite. It is a spiritual parasite until it goes back to its traditional role. Remember now, historically, we fought the KKK through the church. We got jobs through the church. We buried our dead through the church. Life insurance through the church. The black church was the Walmart of the black community.
Listen, the more subscribers we have, the better the guests get. So please hit subscribe. Let's get back to the show.
Whatever you needed, they had it. What happened to that? The black church is now serving itself. It's no longer serving God.
And do you believe that, is that specifically with Christianity, or do you think that all other religions as well?
Parasitic. Now, Christianity is the most capitalist-minded of the religions.
Okay.
Islam is not as capitalist-minded, but guess what? It is still anti-revolutionary. It is still anti-African culture in many regards. I was raised Muslim. Philadelphia has the largest percentage of African-American Sunni Orthodox Muslims in the United States. Dearborn has the most Muslims overall, but they Arab. If you're dealing with American Africans, non-Nation of Islam, Orthodox Muslim, Philadelphia has more than any city in America. I was raised in it. I was raised in the very masjid that I believe the Nation of Islam used to own. You understand? Before W. Warithuddin Muhammad took over his father's organization, shut that down, and came with the American Muslim movement. I was raised in one of those mosques. You understand? But I had to walk away because I saw how we completely ignored black people's problems. We completely ignored black culture. We completely ignored the black reality. It was all Islam. Learn your Arabic. And I'm like, I'm a practicing Arab. I'm not practicing Islam. I'm practicing Arabism. Why do I got to learn Arab language to worship God? Why do I got to eat like the Arab to worship God? Why do I got to dress like the Arab to worship God? This is not the worship of God. This is the deification of Arabic culture. And that's why I walked away from it. And now African spirituality is my foundation. But that would have never happened had I never go to Africa in 2005 and go into that Goree Island slave dungeon, and them ancestors literally grabbed me that day. And I went through a whole spiritual renaissance in my hotel room literally that day. Yeah. And that's what brought me to African spirituality. I speak in churches all the time. I have nothing against the church. There are some who do some good things. But as a system, black religion, I don't care if you're talking Islam, Christianity, Judaism, black religion as a whole, Seventh-day Adventists, Jehovah's Witnesses, even African spirituality to an extent, they have pushed colorblind philosophy on black people to our own detriment. Every problem that the white man has introduced into the black community, the black church has taken that problem, evangelicized it in a way that makes black people think it either ain't that bad or there's nothing they can do about it until Jesus comes. That's slave time religion. And my issue with black religion is my same issue with black politics. Why are we still engaging in the same religious culture we engaged in on the plantation? See, on the plantation, all you could do was pray to God because you was in chains. God had to solve your problems. You weren't allowed to do shit. Now you $2 trillion in America, at least half as much in Canada. You understand? You got enough revenue to do something for yourself now. But we still on hands and knees begging God. Part of the science of prayer, as I teach, you pray for what you can't do. You never pray for what you can do. To pray for what you can do is an insult against the Creator. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Too often we're praying for what we can do. God ain't gonna respond to you. Why would God respond to you when you got the ability to do it yourself? To ask of the Creator to do something for you that you can do yourself is to make a mockery of the Most High.
So would you say that you're looking for kind of just more of an advancement of what that old culture is around a religion, like progression? Okay, reconstruction. Reconstruction.
And to your point that you opened up with, I do believe that 99.9% of all religious leaders are in it for themselves.
Got you.
I look at all the brothers I know who went to jail, came out, opened up a church because it was the only hustle that was there. You know, I look at all the politicians who fell from grace, you know, or celebrities fell from grace, opened up a church because it was the only hustle that was available. You know what I mean? Like, we have to be honest. Yeah. You know, although there are some people who go into the ministry for the purpose of serving the Lord, most people go into politics and religion to serve themselves.
Got you. Okay.
In equal numbers, you think in equal numbers people going into politics at the equal number or equal rate as people going into religion to serve themselves?
Oh, absolutely.
Really?
And if you disagree with that, show me a concrete, practical benefit of black religion in Canada that our people have realized in the past 30 years, something significant.
I'd say Crawford. So Crawford Adventist Church.
No, what have they done? Give me the result. I don't need
the
to know
result. So basically, there's a school in Toronto called Crawford. I went to the school. Okay. 95% black. Okay. Some people at the school, black teachers as well, and they have about a 95% graduation rate. Okay. As well.
How long has Crawford been in existence?
Well over 30 years.
Okay. And how many students go to the school?
Adventist school. From grade 1 to 12, I'd say about 200 to 300 kids.
I appreciate the fact that they have a school.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering now, after 30 years, why do you only have one school? My second question to you, do I have to be a Christian to go to that school?
No.
Okay. Okay. Then I can live with that, but they should have more than one by now.
So I think the challenge is they're Adventists, and there's a bit of bureaucracy between the channels of the Adventist like board. You know, so I think they're kind of dealing with that.
Yeah, they're not big enough to. They're just not big enough or popular enough to actually do that. Whereas Catholic schools are everywhere.
The Adventist umbrella. The Adventist is a white congregation.
That's the challenge.
Why are they?
And what's happening is that there's an Adventist.
Be unapologetically African.
Yes, sir.
Facts.
Facts, yeah.
Facts.
Yeah, they're dealing with that right now. Shout out to Crawford. Shout out to everybody who went to Crawford. Speaking of, actually, there's a lot of success stories out of that. Matter of fact, all of the other school, Kingsway College, is where Daniel Caesar came from.
Okay.
But
now,
yeah.
and salute the Crawford for the school, because
Yeah.
that's a relevant institution.
Yep.
Now, give me a church that's involved in some serious political agitation against police brutality, gentrification, economic genocide, mass incarceration, miseducation.
Okay, so I'd say Scarborough SDA. They have a prison program that they do, where they go into the prisons and
I ain't talking about no prison ministry.
Okay.
What are they doing to fight against the system of mass incarceration?
We're trying.
Yes, okay, so that was it by Dr. Umar. You know, Dr. Umar is a proud black African man. You know, he's proud to be African. He's proud to be black. And that's very good to see that you are very pleased with how God made you. You are black, and he has been addressing black issues, and that's a great thing, man. But you know, you talk about the problem of religion and the black community. Sometimes people can go too far with the issues with the black church, and you know, there's a lot of pressure placed on the black church. The church is not doing this, the church is not doing that, the church, and there's a lot of issues there. At the end of the day, we are all human beings. We are all, you know, we are doing our best. You know, I believe we as the church, we are doing our best. You know, sometimes we place so much pressure on ourselves. We are not doing enough. But I believe we are doing our best. We are doing what we can. So I thank you for reacting to looking at my video today. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. May God bless you, and do have yourself a wonderful day. God bless.